Hi, my name is Andrew Carter, and my speech today is over construction safety, the hazards and proactive ways of preventing incidents. Construction workers and supervisors and project managers are using my target audience. And while my general purpose is to inform, my specific purpose is to help inform audience members like yourselves about the common construction hazards and how to be proactive to safely plan and use technology to help reduce injuries. Now, I can tell you things like construction consistently ranks as one of the most dangerous industries, with falls, equipment, accidents, struck by incidents accounting for the large percentage of serious injuries, fatalities in each year. Now, for established credibility, I've got over 20 years of experience. I've been doing work since '06, hands-on. I started doing safety since 2015. I've got several credentials, certifications, things like OSHA 510, OSHA 30. I do regular daily inspections on hazards and audits on several construction sites and contractors that I oversee. And not only that, I also here. Let's see if I can use the force. I have this power. I see. I can bring it down. Nope, no, no. Come on. Here we go. So here are the references we're going to be using. All right, here. These references we're going to cover on all the slides in conjunction with my credibility. So here you go. There they are. Let's get them out of the way for now. Okay. Now, by understanding common construction hazards, applying effective mitigation strategies, and using proactive planning tools on construction sites, they can become more significantly safer. Today, I'm going to discuss a few major hazards, proven safety controls, and some technology that you can use in prevention. So the first one we're going to talk about is major construction hazards, things like fall from heights. Falls are one of the leading causes of serious injuries and fatalities in construction. Some of the common falls include things from scaffolding, ladders, unprotected edges. Other things we can do is struck by material. Hang on, I think I can pull some more information. Let me see if I can pull it down a little better. Here we go. Boom. There we go. So as you can see, falls are leading over 35% of the hazards on the site, followed by equipment, then struck by and caught in between. Now these things can be anything from heavy machinery moving around materials. They can be poor storage material, equipment traffic increase on job sites. They can be near leading edges. Just this last month, I had to send people home because they were up on a ledge over 40 feet up without being tied off, and that is a cardinal rule you can't do. And so they were escorted off site for their safety since they didn't want to follow the rules. Here, let me get this out of the way for now. Okay, there we go. One of the most common hazards to identify are the next steps on how to understand these risks can be controlled. Now, hang on, let's just go get this side up now while we're at it. Hang on, let's see if I can pull it down again. There we go. Okay, so what these breaks down to is these are the hierarchies of safety controls. You have things like PPE, administrative controls, engineer controls, and hazard elimination. Now, the lower the better. You want your target number to be zero. You really do. So the first thing you can do is limit your hazards. By limiting your hazards, you limit the risks. Next, you do engineering controls, things like guardrails, barricades, equipment safeguards, reducing exposures to these hazards. Finally, you do administrative controls. You can do things like toolbox talks. You can do things like JSAs, which are job safety analysis. You can do things, finally, PPE, which is the most common thing that people do use on job sites, but is the last line of defense. So while they are the most widely used to help control the hazards, they are the ones you want to use at the very last resource. So let's just get this out here for a second. Here we go. And poof, there we go. Okay, so now in addition to traditional safety controls, we want to use modern technology to help change how our hazards are addressed before construction even starts. And one of the things we can do is use proactive safety planning by using technology, things like BIM. Now, BIM is a big fancy acronym. It just means Building Information Models for Safety Planning. Here, let me pull a simple one down here for you. So basically this here just shows you that it's a layout. So you start with your BIM 3D model with a building layout. You identify your fall hazards and your equipment paths and material storages. You plan some safety controls like guardrails, scaffolding, barricades like we talked before. And then after that, it leads to hopefully a safer job site before the work even begins. So doing these things can just simply reduce these risks and it helps visualize the job site before the construction even begins. So let me get this out of the way. Okay, we're done with those. So preventing these incidents, before they happen is a big thing. It's all about It's all about improving the safety on the site. So remember, construction sites contain serious hazards, right? But research does show that identifying risks, applying effective controls, and using things like the BIM can also significantly reduce injuries. Now, these all being supported by the references I showed you at the beginning of the speech. And also remember that the construction hazards, while applying proactive safety strategies, that's really what we want to do. We want to get rid of the hazards first and foremost. We want our zero. If we can be proactive instead of reactive, our job can be a lot safer on the construction site. So by doing these things, construction professionals like myself will help create safer and more productive work environments. Now remember, the safest construction site are not the ones that we do react by these, but they're also the ones that we plan for before the first work step ever starts. Now, I got a few minutes left, so whenever I do my speeches, I like to be a little fun. This is how I am. I'm very Southern Illinois, Indiana area, Midwestern, and so I like to end with a joke. So here's a joke. You know the band-aids you put on little kids? Got Dora the Explorer, Paw Patrol, little cartoon characters on the band-aids. Why are band-aids with dolphins on them the best band-aids you can have? The reason why is because it's band-aids with a porpoise. I know it's corny, but that's the joke I've got for you. It's a little safety, a little humor, slightly dad joke-ish. Again, my job is to help keep people safe, and hopefully this speech will help pass that information along. Thank you for your time. Again, my name is Andrew Carter, and this is about keeping construction sites and the hazards a little safer than what we can potentially have on site without, taking the time to mitigate these hazards. Thank you. Goodbye.